Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Don Peterson. The video you're about to see is actually an excerpt from Miyagi for Golf, which is my online training course. So if you like the video, at the end I'll give you a link to Miyagi for Golf, my online training course. And please like and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you back here and helping you with your golf game. Hey everyone, Don Peterson coming to you from just north of Atlanta. I'm at Iron Horse Golf Academy. I want to talk to you a little bit about the worst shot in golf, which is the shank. I've got 5 things that I look for to help students with to help them get over shanking. So I'll go over those 5 things. But first I want to talk to you for a minute about what causes the shank and what a shank is. So if you're hitting shots that go kind of extremely to the right. I'm a right-handed golfer, so if I shank it, the ball's going to go off to my right. If you're a left-handed golfer, then it's going to go extremely to the left. And a lot of times when you see that, you think it's a face problem. A lot of people will think, oh, if the ball goes way to the right, it's because I have the face open. But in a shank situation, that's not exactly what happens. What happens is the center of the mass of this golf club, and I'm going to go over this. So you can see the shaft comes down here, and a lot of times you would think that the center of the mass would be lined up with the shaft here, but it's not, because the club head has mass. The center of this mass is right here, and that's what they call the sweet spot in the middle of this iron. Okay, so if I have the path of this club head, or the path of the mass of this club head, the sweet spot, in line with the middle of this ball, then I'm going to hit it solid and the ball's going to roll up the face and I get a nice solid shot. But if I'm swinging outside of the ball, and that's what happens in a shank, what happens is sometimes the path has gone too far outside of the ball, and then you hit it off of the hosel here. And if you can see, you look down at this hosel, it's got a spot here, and what happens is it hits there and then it bounces over into the club face, and then it careens off to the right. It's kind of like a pool shot hitting a bank, you know, like a bank shot in pool. It goes here, and over to the right. So that's what a shank is. And of course, what I want to do today is show you what are some of the reasons the path would get outside of the ball. We talked a recent video I just did about the path being inside the ball. A lot of times if that happens, you hit the ball off of the toe. So you can see this would be a path inside the ball. This would be a path lined up perfectly with the center of the ball, and a shank would be a path where the path is going outside the ball, hitting off the hosel. So let's take a minute and talk about 5 things that I look for to help students cure their shank. Okay, so now that we know the path is working on the outside of the golf ball, that would look like this. The path would be outside of the what we would call the plane, or the arc of the swing here. So this would be a nice swing plane coming into the golf ball. Usually the path, you want it to be coming from the inside, go down the line, and then back to the inside. But in a shank case, what's happening is for some reason that club is getting outside. So one of the reasons I see, or one of the things that I look for, is lack of shoulder turn. Because if I see someone who's got a really short shoulder turn, what happens is they don't get their arms very deep. And what that means is that the arms are here instead of deep. See, if I turn my shoulders, I can get deep and come from the inside. But if I don't turn my shoulders and I just lift up, now I'm coming from the outside when I start back down, especially if I'm trying to create some speed and some power. So that's one of the problems I see that I look for that can help people stop shanking, is if I can get them to make a bigger back turn. Now the club gets deeper, so I'll show you a bigger back turn here would get me way back in here, and that gets my hands deep enough I can start down. Now I'm coming at the golf ball from this angle and coming from right down the line and through the ball, instead of a short backswing would be here, coming down from the outside. So that's number 1. Number 2 that I see is people who push too much from the top of the swing. So I kind of show them this example. So let's just say I'm swinging this club, and I'm going to swing it on a perfectly vertical plane here, and I've got it on the path of this ball, and it's just swinging back and forth, and that's a nice little path. But if I push at it, you can see I knocked it out of the path. And that's kind of what I see. In good golf swings, we want our path not to be, you know, perfectly vertical. They're going to be on a swing plane, or an ellipse, we call it. And it's going to go from in front of me to behind me. And it's going to go from down here to up. So that's the swing plane. All right. And if I do that, if I push at it on the downswing, I can push it out of that arc or out of that path. So sometimes I work with people on just relaxing at the top of their swing and letting their arms almost just drop and relax so that they don't push. And like I said, here you can see it's a really good example. If I try to give that a little push, I just knocked it out of its path. There's no way it's going to hit the golf ball. And that's one of the things I see. I see people get to the top of their swing, and if they have a deep shoulder turn, I've seen people that got way back in here, but then they pushed from the top and they pushed outward. So if you've got any of this push, that's pushing that club outside the golf ball, and you're going to hit a shank. So that's one of the things I'm trying to alleviate then, is get someone to relax a little bit so that they're not pushing, and learn how to just let those arms drop as they come back towards the golf ball rather than trying to help a little bit. And then next, what I would talk about would be letting the club face actually square, because a lot of times people are so stiff with their grip, and maybe their grip is not right. So, this is something I don't want to go into a whole how you should grip it to improve your swing. Go ahead and look at your grip, but you got to figure out if the club face is coming through open and you're trying to push it closed with your trail hand, then that could cause shanking as well. So sometimes just learning or having my students relax and feel the club face roll over. So now they go, wow, I can feel that release, and I feel the club face closing. And now if you can put that on the golf ball where you're just letting your hands relax and release, now there's no, I think you're not rushed to close the club face, because you know it's going to close and you feel it closing. So now you're not trying to push at it and close it. Sometimes it gets your swing again to be on this path that's going to strike the golf ball from inside to square and then back to the inside, instead of pushing the path to the outside of the golf ball. So relaxing sometimes and just letting your wrists feel release, and then saying, okay, well, I'm just going to toss it back and forth and let that release happen. Sometimes that fixes the shank right there. Now, the next thing that I do to help shankers is sometimes I'll stand in front of them, because I see people who shank. A lot of times they reach, and when they swing back, they actually go forward. And when I see that head going down and forward, what happens is then the downswing is outside of the golf ball. So a lot of times I'll stand over here, and I'm gonna show you with a little imagery. But if I see someone and they start doing this on their backswing where their head's going in, then I'll stand there and I'll push them backwards so that they can't go down in, right? So I'm pushing them back, and then I'll make them swing down. And what happens is now the path is not outside the golf ball. The path is back where they've kept their balance. So a lot of times this pushing them back, it kind of gets them off of the balls of their feet, and gets them back here where they're balanced. Now they finish in balance. And again, the path now starts going right through the center of the golf ball. They feel solid contact, and that's a great thing. So that would be one of the things that I look for, again, is someone who's lunging in, and just keeping them from doing that so they can make contact with that golf ball. Then lastly, one of my great little drills here is to just take a cardboard box. In this particular situation, I've got the golfer's tee box here. This is a little utility box that comes with tools and training apparatus that I use for teaching my online Miyagi for Golf system. But you can grab any cardboard box that's kind of similar to this. You want something that's a little bit long, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to put the ball up towards the front of the box. And then you'll see that this becomes like a visual intimidation. So I'm going to turn the box here just like that. I'm going to put the ball up towards the front of the box. And then if I were set up here and just wanted to swing at this, I'm going to try to keep the ball within about an inch or an inch and a quarter of the box here. And then when I swing at it, see, now I can see this box here, and I don't want to swing outside of it, because again, it's kind of visual intimidation, and that's a good thing. And if the bigger the box, it probably works even better, because then your mind sees it, and you start saying, okay, well, I've got to swing inside the box. I can't swing outside the box. And just for your information, the cardboard box works well as long as it's a lightweight cardboard, as long as it's not filled with anything. Make it an empty box. If you happen to hit the box, it doesn't hurt your club. It won't break anything. It won't hurt you, and you can continue practicing. You might put a little dent in the box, but no harm, no foul, okay? So you can practice with the box here. And just for that reason, I wouldn't use anything like, some people I see use 2x4s or things like that. Something that's hard, you could potentially hurt yourself if you're not setting it up correctly. So watch out for that. But this is one of the better ways to fix the shank, is because it doesn't allow you to swing on the outside and hit it off the hosel. So it's a very simple thing. You just learn to do all those things that I just went through. Make all those checkpoints. Make sure you turn deep to the inside. Make sure you let your hands release. Make sure you're not pushing on the downswing, and make sure you're not lunging in. And you can fix your own shank just with a simple cardboard box. For more tips like this, come back and check us out. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. All right, so there you go. Thanks for watching my video. If you have more interest in Miyagi for Golf, it's an online training course where we ship you tools so you can train in the comfort of your own home. The tools will be available later this year. Right now, I'm offering Miyagi for Golf at a discounted rate, so check out miyagiforgolf.com.